Thank you. Gosh, yeah, I love that kind of control. All right, Cub Scouters. It's October. We've had joint scouting night. You probably had at least one, maybe two pack meetings. Hopefully all your dens have met at least once. Maybe even a camping trip. My pack went camping last weekend, and I swear it was the hottest October camping trip I'd ever been on in my life. I thought we were going to have some heat exhaustions rather than some kids being cold at night. Yeah, there's nothing like laying in bed on an October camping trip, sweating to death, wishing for a breeze. But it was fun. We're in the year. We're there. Things are going to move on us very, very fast. We're going to be moving to scouting for food. That is less than a month away. Don't forget about it. Be thinking about it. Start getting your parents jazzed about it because you really need their help in running this thing. It's a 2-weekend commitment. Okay, popcorn, we're in the middle of that. Life is good. Question?
Will there be a fish on scouting for food?
Yes. Matter of fact, there is scouting for food, a little setup over there on the midway, including the dates and places for training. Alright, so, but we're also talking about what you're going to be learning about next month, what you're going to be teaching the boys next month. Next month is my favorite, absolute favorite core value. Citizenship. My favorite. Veterans Day's in there, right? Also known as Armistice Day, depending on where you're from. Alright. And look at that. No one can pass through life any more than he can pass through a bit of country without leaving tracks behind. Absolutely. Here's the key. The part, and if you teach a boy this right here, you've done your job. Citizenship is not a passive thing. It's not if I was a member and I just sort of showed up and I got all the benefits without doing something about it. Citizenship is not a passive thing. It's an education that continues through life. Absolutely. We should be striving to train every single one of these boys to be active, participating, servant citizens. That's our job. But before we dive into that, who's new to Roundtable? Brand new. Holy moly! Come on up. Everybody, come on. Just get right here. And this is very simple. You guys have actually lucked out. Because citizenship, all you're going to do is I'm going to have you lead everybody in a song. So this is easy. You know, normally I have skits and all kinds of crazy stuff. Last month I had people acting like sheep and snort like pigs, which was still pretty fun. But not for citizenship.
I feel like we missed out.
We'll bring you back next month, and I'll really make it big. I'll make it bigger than you've ever seen. So, please, if you don't mind, your name, what pack, and what position you are currently holding. Go.
No song?
No, the song's coming. We have to know who you are. We have to know who you are before we. I tell you what. Would you like to sing your name, the pack, and the position? No. No. Okay.
Matthew Peterson, Cub Master, Pack 533.
Ooh, Cub Master. I think we do need to do a song. No, all right.
Andrew Reed, Assistant Cub Master, Pack 740.
Oh yeah, we're doing a song.
Brian Offhouse, Cub Master for 1157.
Oh yeah.
Mike Einarelli, Pack 1156, Cub Master.
Donna Chon, Committee Chair for Pack 910.
Oh, I broke the streak. Thank you.
Shane here, Pack 961, Blue Leader for the Tiger Cub.
Joe Daniel, Pack 1152, Committee Chair.
Luis Rosas, Pack 965, Dan Leader, Tigers.
Christine Dufour, mother of a tiger cub, Pack 956, and I'm going to be heading the scouting food this year.
Oh, very good, very good. Thank you so much for coming. No, go there. Okay, I'm still going to let you off because we're going to do an easy song, not a really crazy, silly song, which Cub Masters, make sure you do, find yourself a silly song. Your song that everyone's going to know you about. I've got 2 songs from my pack that the boys know and love, and the parents hate beyond belief. Find that song. Find it and own it. Yeah, that's what I say. I've been Cub Master for a while. That's my advice to you. What we're going to sing is something incredibly simple. Everybody knows this. For patriotism tomorrow. So, I tell you what. You're not going to just stand there. Everyone stand up. Join us. You can't sing sitting down. You have to project. Now, everybody knows God Bless America, right?
Right.
So I tell you what, all you're doing is starting us off. See how easy that is? Here we go. This is the easiest one you've ever had. So.
God
bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you so much for coming. And let me tell you what, you sing too well to come out. I'm sorry. As I tell my back, I can't sing at all, so I just sing louder. I think the boys liked it that way, so. All right, so we got it warmed up. Our throat's feeling good now. Remember, Cub Scout sign, 2 fingers all the way up. Here's the wolf, right? Not down here, and it's definitely not here. I have half my boys that constantly want to put it with this hand, and I don't have a clue why they want to do that. It's over here. I'm almost tempted to give them a rubber band or something to remember which hand it is. That's exactly, they're doing exactly what I'm doing. So, everyone please rise. We're going to do the Cub Scout promise. I, Brian Kale, promise to do my best, to do my duty, to God and my country, to help other people, and to obey the law of the pack. Law of the pack? The Cub Scout follows the Kale. The Cub Scout helps the pack go. The pack helps the Cub Scout grow. The Cub Scout gives goodwill. 2. You may be seated. All right. I had the words of the song up there. I had this Cub Scout stuff up there. And I had the law of the pack up there. As I say every meeting, don't feel bad about doing that. It's not a crutch. It's not that the boys aren't learning. You want everyone to participate. And sometimes you just have a mind cramp. I've had a meeting where I could not for the life of me remember the words. I've been doing something else with Boy Scouts, and I was getting them mixed up and could not untangle them. I actually had to make a skit out of it to where finally a lowly tiger came and saved me from the horrible time that I was having because I could not remember. It's okay. We all do that. Give your parents and your boys something as a reference. You want your parents to be part of this as well. They're the Kale. They're part of this promise as well in the law. Have them repeat as well. It's okay. Okay, the 12 core values. Citizenship. Like I said, my favorite. You should strive to have one of these 12 in absolutely everything you do. If you do not have one of these 12 in what you're doing, don't do it. It's not right for the program. And don't be thinking after you've done what you've done, well, I wonder which one it was. Before you actually do your program, come up with which one it is. Put it in words. I'm going to focus on citizenship by doing a flag ceremony, and we're also going to be working on the boys doing part of the Veterans Day assembly at school. Perfect. There it is. Bam, bam, bam. And there's also perseverance there because they have to practice. And there's also some bravery in there too. Be sure to think it out. It's not bad to also, when you're done, ask your boys, hey, what do you think we were learning today? Because sure as shooting, if they can pull it out, mission accomplished. If they can't, well, that doesn't mean you failed. It just means they can't quite articulate as well, and that's okay too. Let's face it, sometimes boys just not articulating things very clearly. Let's face it, us adults don't do that very well sometimes too, okay? But make sure you put the thought into which one of these core values is in your program. Focus on it, concentrate on it. As it relates to Boy Scouts, citizenship is helpful. Absolutely. Citizens should be servants, supporting and serving their fellow citizens and everyone they come upon. Our country is great because of the work ethic and what we've done throughout the time to help other people to rise up and to be better than they started out. That is the dream of America, and that is the reason that we have thrived to this point. It is about helping other people. As I tell my boys in my pack, we help other people at all times. Even to the point, if I start saying it, the boys will repeat at all times for me. And I know, yes, they got it. Excite them. Make sure you're pointing how the Boy Scouts to them. Even the Tiger Cubs. Start talking about the fact that Boy Scouts is coming and all the things that they get to learn there. Cub Scouting is family fun, yes. A game with a purpose, yes. But it is preparation for Boy Scouts. Yes, that is its primary goal, primary purpose. Preparation for Boy Scouts, where the boys will become more self-reliant and learn leadership, cooperation, and team. All right, so citizenship. We all know what citizenship means, of course. It's on the news all the time. People are waving it in our face. It's talked about tons, especially in the Washington metro area. You can't swing a stick without hitting something. It talks about citizenship and patriotism. We all know what it is. No, we don't. Because in reality, everyone is using citizenship and patriotism as their own little battle flag to say, I'm better than you. That's not citizenship. Citizenship is being a member. Equal member with all the other members. It's about the quality of the individual's response to this membership and what they're going to do, helping other people at all times. Cub Scouts, they understand that. Our little Cub Scouts are some of the most tender-hearted you've ever seen. They will do some of the most amazing things that will bring you to tears. They will stand and they will go thank a serviceman quicker than you can blink an eye for their service. They will salute the flag and they will show it the greatest respect you've ever seen. That's pure patriotism, pure citizenship. And we need to get back to it. That's what we're teaching them, what we're giving them opportunities to learn and to practice and to develop for themselves their own inner sense of patriotism. Because we can't teach it, we can only demonstrate our own and give them opportunities for them to learn and demonstrate their own. That's what we do. Ceremonies. Absolutely. So, let's talk about it from a boy's point of view. We can talk real high level patriotism and citizenship and all these kind of things, but we're talking about 6 through 10-year-olds. Okay? They study a little bit about citizenship and about the founding fathers and some of that stuff in school, and depending on their age, they may be absorbing some versus another. And they may tell you, well, all they remember is that George Washington cut down a cherry tree. Right? It's whatever's interesting to them at the time. We need to make sure that they understand that the reason that our country works the way it is because everyone is an equal member. And that with our membership comes rights and responsibilities of which we need to exercise. And that, when something's not right or fair, we need to work to change it. Little boys are all about fair. That's not fair. Especially in the Cub Scout age group, that's their big deal. That's not fair. And I can't tell you the number of times as a dad going, you're right, son, that's not fair. I wish it was. But it's never going to be fair. All you can do is your best and help other people at all times. Here, we can't just take. Take. We've got to be giving. I've sat in several board reviews recently with Boy Scouts and asked, why is service important to scouting? Because it's about helping other people, about showing selflessness, about being a servant. That's why it's important. These boys will understand when you give them opportunities to understand. They really do. Have them work on trying to tell you in their own words what they're thinking in that regard. They've got some amazing insight. But ultimately, they're gathering what they're learning by what you and their parents and other adults demonstrate. That's really what it comes down to. Here's what you hear every day. If you don't do it my way, you're wrong. I know the right way. And if you don't do it the right way, you're hurting the country. I have to win everything. That's the most important thing. These are not citizenship things. These are not patriotism things. That's a power thing. Patriotism is a love for or devotion to one's country. Not that I'm better than you, that my country is better than your country, that we, whatever. It is about a love of one's country, a devotion. Patriotism is a slow race. It's not a sprint. It's a little bit every single day of trying to make things better and looking for the way to improve your country, your community, your friends, and your family by helping all the time. It's about action. Citizenship is membership, but without action, it really doesn't mean anything. All right. I'm going to warn you right now. The next X amount of slides are part of a presentation that I give at Powwow and University of Scouting about citizenship and Cub Scouting. I cut a few slides out to try to respect your time, but I felt it was important because there's lots of things to actually take and use in your meetings and in what you're doing. So we're going to be moving pretty fast. I'm going to put these slides on Facebook, and I'll also put my full slide set on there as well. And if you don't have Facebook, by putting something on the index card saying I'd love to send the slides with your email address, I'll be happy to send them to you. All right? So please pardon the fact that we're going to be moving a little faster. I want you to sort of get a really big sense of how big citizenship is in Cub Scouting. All right. So Cub Scout, we talk about duty all the time. The boys have a duty to do something, and they sort of understand that. And we also talk about freedoms, and we use a lot of big words. Freedom of self-determination. Yeah, no boy's going to get that. No, most adults don't even understand that. But ultimately it means the ability for me to go and choose to do whatever I want to do to seek my own happiness. Whether it be in my career, my hobby, my family life, whatever, as long as it's not hindering or hurting someone else. That's the freedom of self-determination. Kids aren't going to get those, but they understand the basics. And they hear these on the news all the time, whether you realize it or not. But here's how we teach duty to 6 to 10-year-olds. Examples: sacrifice, servicemen. We are constantly shown pictures and things having to do with our servicemen, about police officers, firemen, teachers, all these folks who are selflessly giving to improve others, to keep them safe, to keep property safe, to be there to help other people at all times. That's the kind of thing. They know about voting. How could they not? We talk about voting all the time at St. Clair. And they vote, and there's classes on certain things. They haven't quite figured out the whole process of voting versus popularity, but a lot of times voting is nothing but popularity anyway. So, about obeying laws, providing service. Here's some of the things they don't understand. You need to be informed about your government and your laws, how they work and what they are. It's incumbent upon every single citizen to understand the laws that govern them. Not to blindly follow them without understanding why they're there and what they mean. When you're setting up your den rules of conduct, you're having the boys set up the rules. Why? Because they need to understand that they're a member of this den and they are falling underneath these guidelines, aka laws, and they need to understand why they're there and what they mean, because they need to follow them. And them being involved with the process of creating them allows that to happen. That's a good way to explain freedoms and such as citizenship in our country. That's the way it should be. Citizenship is through absolutely every single rank, belt loop, Weeblo badge. It is all through the place. One of the 3 aims of scouting is citizenship. It's, character development, citizenship, physical development. Those are your 3 aims of scouting. It's right there. It's 33% of it. That's why it's through everything. And it goes throughout. The den leader should be working on the basics of, understanding citizenship and how to put it into practice. And then the Cub Master is providing program aids that are solidifying what the den leader is talking about. The opening ceremony with a different den bringing in the flag and posting it. Have them plan what they'd like to do there. Whether it be maybe as far as parades, maybe different patriotism, folding of flags, retirement of flags at campfires. These kind of things are things that they can take and they can learn about patriotism. Tiger, there's all the requirements. Weeblo, bear, look at all those requirements. Holy moly. There's there's Weeblo badge. That's the citizenship badge. It is specifically citizenship. Belt loop. Every single one of these focus on learning what it's like and what it should be to be a citizen, a participating, active, servant citizen. That's what it's about. All right, so let's use a little edge here. For those of you who've been to our roundtables know, edge is one of the techniques that has moved into the forefront with scouting in the last few years. Explain, demonstrate, guide, and enable, and it's also taught very heavily in the wood badge. Explain. Okay, remember, Cub Scouts, remember the rules of 5? You got 5 minutes, that's all you got? You can explain for 5 minutes before you better get an activity in there, because they're gonna start losing it. You know, I love the fact that people get carried away and like really want to explain something. This is very important. And after about 5 minutes, the boy's like, got nothing. Looking over here. Hey, there's a ball over there. You know, you've lost them. And you're not doing yourself any good unless you like hearing yourself talk. 5 minutes at most, and then move to an activity. If you still need to talk about something else, bring them back, talk about something else, and then another activity. Solidify what you're talking about. Demonstrate. What you do demonstrates that. What you talk about demonstrates that too. So be careful about the way you're talking about certain things. There are plenty of things in life that just sort of irk us. What the heck is going on with this? But the way we talk about it is picked up by the boys, and they don't understand why, but they internalize it. So make sure you're demonstrating the right level there. Model proper flag care, ceremonies. Okay, start moving on to where the boys are allowed to start planning the ceremonies themselves, filling in the blanks. Service projects. Help other people at all times. They're perfect. Once you've got your boys starting to understand all this, have them plan a service project. You're there for safety and facilitation, but let them do the planning. And help them bound it. Because typically they get really big, really fast. We're going to clean all these burgers. That's great. There's 5 of them. I like the way you're thinking, but we're going to have to employ more people. Or else, let's just stick to this one block. All right? Scouting is all about training, about teaching boys so that they can then later on demonstrate and grow. We're teaching respect, responsibility, participation, inclusiveness. And you'll hear that all the time. That's in almost every single training you've ever taken in scouting. Matter of fact, I think it was in the Cub Scout Leader Specific training, they talked about this exact same thing. So that's not unique. Okay, but what is unique about scouting specifically is that we set up the program to let the boys fail. It's okay. We're not setting them up to fail. We're letting them fail in the fact that it's a safe environment. Hey, let's try something. Well, that didn't quite work right. What do you think we need to change that to improve it? And all of a sudden, another try, that was better, this, and the learning part. You didn't learn that a stove was hot because your mom said the stove was hot. Every single one of us, without exception, did not take our mother at her word saying the stove was hot. Shit, she doesn't know what she's talking about. Oh my gosh! Yes, that's exactly what we did. Every single one of us did it. And that's the same thing here. The boys need an opportunity to try it. Okay, well we're gonna talk about backpacks. We're never gonna use them, but we're gonna talk about backpacks. Really? That's not what this guy is about. And let the boys ask questions and truly listen to their questions. All right? We focus on the fact that America is fundamentally good, decent, moral country. There's sacrifice, responsibilities, and we have a responsibility to be involved. These are the things we are teaching. Okay, here's what we're not focusing on. Here's the key. It is so easy to get lost in the rigmarole because a boy will parrot back something his parent said. And all of a sudden, you're off to the races. Just be aware, we are not talking about complex patriotism issues. We're not going to discuss national debt with the boys. Maybe they may understand it better than I do. I don't know, but that's not. We're not going to talk about civil disobedience. Cub Scouts are not about civil disobedience. They're about leading change. They're about when they see a wrong, making sure they highlight it and trying to lead towards improvement. But we're not talking about civil disobedience. These are still boys. We're not dealing with immigration. They have a general understanding of right and wrong. And it's a very black and white right and wrong. There's not a whole lot of gray in it. Boys at this age, that was not fair, that was not fair, this is right, you're wrong. Good versus evil. That's all I got. They start to learn more as we go. But it is the way we should be teaching that we should respect others at all times and obey the laws of our nation. Absolutely. And the directions of the parents. The parents will appreciate that part. All right, be ready to talk about this one. Comes up all the time. Flag burning. I had a boy when my wolves, and this was 5, 6 years ago. One of my wolves goes, "What do we do, people that burn our flag?" We don't do anything to them. As scouts, we respect their right to what they want, that they're doing this, but we respect the flag, and you better have your discussion of how to diffuse that. It's not a question of teaching others lessons. It's about being the right example. So have that in your head too, because these questions, it always comes up. All right, so here's the building blocks of citizenship. Let's dive in. Salute. Why do we do a salute? A couple reasons. One is a very simple activity. It is a very easy physical activity. And it teaches self-control. It is impossible to do a proper salute when you're running around being a crazy person. The Tasmanian devil cannot do a proper salute.
Do you know my son?
Also. It's about taking a moment to show respect. And that's what it is. There is no greater thrill that your Cub Scouts have than when one of their leaders gives them a salute for something that they've done. Congratulations. The look in their eye when they get a salute from an adult is priceless. Because they know it means something. And that's what we're doing. It's the most basic building block. Introducing respect. That's why it's part of the Bobcat. All right, how about flag folding and care? I can't tell you the number of times that I'm watching other people folding a flag and I'm cringing like, oh, it's almost like a physical pain. And I'll take care of it. And I will grab somebody else. Come here, here's what we're going to do. Boys, it is a perfect opportunity for the boys to work as a team, to develop leadership skills, communication skills, and to work on improving physical coordination as well. It is a great activity for that. Remember the old touch the ground, burn the flag? Oh, the flag touches the ground, we gotta burn it. It'd be a very expensive little habit with Cub Scouts, because every single opening ceremony, it seems like at one point or another the flag touches the ground, because they're only 4 feet tall, and your flag is like huge. No, it's about the fact that the proper care and the best you can with the flag, and if it taps, you immediately get it up, and then you make sure it's clean to be a proper, respectful symbol of the country. It's a good thing to teach. It also teaches a little bit of not just necessarily black and white. Yeah, flag's okay, gotta burn it. There's somewhere in between. This flag right here, just a small little story. This flag right here was actually a flag that was on a coffin of a gentleman that had worked for the Postal Service, my neighbor's father. And the honor guard who folded it incorrectly. And he brought it to me and he's like, we're going to store the flag. And I know that scouting will fold it properly. And I brought this flag to my den, and I told the boys a story. And the boys go, hold on a second. Every single one of them went to the bathroom. They tucked their shirts in, and they made sure they looked the part of a proper Boy Scout. They came out. They were quiet. They were respectful, and they did the best job folding that humongous flag I'd ever seen. They were amazing. Give them the opportunity. These are great skills to have about respect. Flag retirement. BSA is one of the few organizations that's actually recognized as one that can properly do a flag retirement because we show the right respect throughout history. There are dozens and dozens and dozens of ways to retire a flag. There's the lay it down method. While it's still in a triangle, put it in the fire method. There is the cut the stripes out and then the canton method. There's numerous methods. The key is this. Don't get hung up in the methods. Get hung up on the respect. We went on our last camping trip, we retired a flag. I used the cutting method because it allows each boy to have one piece and walk to the fire and say, I'm proud to be American because of. That to me allowed them to echo the respect that should have been in place. They did a great job. It brings tear to your eye every time you see it. But there's so many different ways of doing this. Key here is safety. Most of the flags now are nylon. They go woof like that and they melt. Make sure that your boys are safe. There's no excuse for anything of our boys getting hurt when we can stop it. So, and a lot of times, in situations like that, like if we're just laying it down the fire, the boys are, the honor guard sets it down, and then the adult is quickly bringing the pieces back on to complete the fire, keeping their hands out of the fire area. And then we also recover the grommets. I'm wearing 2 of them myself. As many times as I can, I try to recover the grommets from a flag that's retired and return them to the flag owner. as a memorial to the flag for the wonderful service. Or to give it to the boys that were part of the honor guard as an honor for the fact that they served that last time of respect. So it takes a while to find those grommets in the ashes, but you know, it's also fun. The boys enjoy getting dirty and looking for grommets. So you know, it's a win-win. So the flag retirement is about the spirit of our country. Okay? Flag displays. I've actually got that, your flag book right there. It's sold at the Scout Shop. It's a really good book for like $8.99. It goes into great detail, the right place, the right time, how to display a flag. Most of us think we know, and most of us do, ish. But there are plenty of times like, oh, and you sort of guess. It sure is nice to have a book like that when your scouts want to do an opening ceremony here. What would you like to do? Well, we'd like to do this. Let's check the book and make sure it's okay. They're learning to use a reference material and also making sure they're doing things the right way. It really works out well. You know, let them explain the why they place the flag. That's a big one too. Why'd you put the flag there? I don't know. Why? You've seen it there before? Yeah. Okay, that's not enough. Why is the flag right there? Does anybody know?
Right, speaker.
To the right of the speaker, exactly. Most people go, well, because it's on the left. Nope, it's on the right. My right. Let the boys learn these nuances. It makes all the difference in the world. You know, you see these 3 boards right here? Those 3 boards, remember the wood badge meeting you just saw? Well, part of the wood badge is your patrol actually puts together a project teaching a skill. And those 3 boards right there was my wood badge patrol project. We put together boards that taught the flag code. And then this very last board right here was a mock-up of a building and a street, and you put flags at different points and then you check to see if you were right. You know what? Those boards are available for use by anybody in the district. I think right now they're still sitting in Mr. Carty's garage. Because he lost the bet. Well, 3 half sheets of plywood is pretty big. But no, I mean, we use them and they are available. I mean, we built them specifically for that. And they're pretty robust, so they can definitely take some. But use whatever you got. Make something to allow the boys to really drive it home. Oh, the bumper stickers are a great point. Veterans, police officers, firemen, soldiers, there are plenty of opportunities for people to come speak about patriotism or about citizenship or about what they do. Parents in your pack, people people that you know. Heck, you can get a fireman to come from almost any one of the Leesburg fire departments. They love to come and talk to the boys about fire safety and about protecting others. What a great role model. All right, ceremonies. Absolutely. When? Whenever. Din, pack, sure. There's no wrong time for a ceremony as long as it's done to make a point. The point is, this is important. That's the point. That's what a ceremony is about. Now, if you do a ceremony, 4 ceremonies in a din meeting, you probably did a few many. I'd bring it back to 1. But it's all about highlighting, this is an important moment. Remember it. That's what a ceremony is. And it gives the boys a great opportunity to, this is a din ceremony right here. So it's good at either level. And it does. It adds a touch of importance to an event. Okay? The boys should be doing most of the heavy lifting in this. They should be doing the planning. They should be doing the performance of the actual activity. Obviously, Tigers, it's the boys and their Tiger partner. Remember, they're a team. So, all right. Other ceremonies. Could be indoor, outdoor. You guys have yardsticks? You know what yardsticks are? They look like little rockets, tubes that you pound into the ground and you put your flag up. My pack, every single place we go outside, I bring 2 yardsticks. U.S. flag, pack flag. Boom. Prominently, it's one of the first things that happens. So that we boys remember, this is who we are. This is what we represent. This is the spirit we're going to show. First thing when that camera trip, before the first tent went up, I had those yardsticks in place and the flags in place. It's important. Uniforming. Okay, notice that my 3 boys here who are about to do a flag retirement ceremony are not wearing uniforms. Why aren't they wearing their uniforms? Because we're camping. And because truthfully, parents get really, really angry when you mess up their, their $35 uniform shirts. But they are wearing their Pack 71 t-shirts. And ultimately, the most important thing is they treated it as if it was a very serious event. No matter what they're wearing, it's their attitude and the way they approach it. And these boys did wonderfully. We can look at the seriousness on their face right now. It's a very solemn task that they've been given. And they were treating it as such. Patriotic songs. Cub Scouts love to sing. The adults may not. I really can't sing. I don't care. Sing loud. Parents hate to sing. Make them sing too. Actually, the boys absolutely love it if you bring the parents up and make them sing. I have a wheel of song. It's one of those spinning wheels. It's like, and I bring it around, and on it is every single den, but it also has parents on it too. So, and then it comes to parents. Hey, parents, you're gonna sing a song. The boys are like, yay! The parents are like, meanwhile, the father's like, I gotta get out of here. You know, the boys love to sing. Patriotic songs are great. Everybody knows a slew of them, right? The only thing to warn on that is a couple of songs are really hard. The national anthem is really hard. And truthfully, I always treat the national anthem as a special occasion song. Not just a, hey, we're in the middle of a Cub Scout pack meeting, let's sing the national anthem. To me, it doesn't seem right. There's no law against it, no rule against it. It just doesn't seem, it needs to be the cornerstone, the pinnacle of what's going on, in my opinion. And I never use national anthem for any kind of background music. It's not background. How the boys memorize the national anthem? You'd be surprised how quickly they can. Have them memorize the fourth verse. I like the fourth verse a lot. Actually better than the first verse. Look it up. Field trips. Okay, we're in the Washington metro area. You cannot swing a stick without hitting a historic site. If you like, you know, I just don't know where to go, there's nowhere really to go to see anything. I have people say that. I don't know where to take my den. You know, there's just nothing to look at, and they get bored so easily. What? This picture right here is in the square here in Leesburg. The boys had a great time, and afterwards we got hot chocolate. They loved it. It was the best trip ever. Also, there is a trail medal for Leesburg. You walk around Leesburg and learn all kinds of interesting facts, and then they get a medal. Isn't that the best ever? The boys will do a lot of stuff for bling.
How do we get that?
I've got a book right there, and I'll show you where you write, and you'll get the requirements. Did you know that the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence were housed in Leesburg to protect them from the British in 1812? Yes. I didn't know it. I didn't know which building it was until I was standing there going, holy moly! And the boys were like, what? The Constitution was here. There's not anything on the building, anything that says it. It's very cool. There are a lot of really neat things. There are, I think I counted in the Washington metro area within 35, 40 miles of Washington. I think there were something like 25 trail medals and like 50 different patches that could be earned. Holy moly. You really got to find something. You know, there's great opportunities here. You know, I mean, here's just a few. I just real quickly, just spitballing. I'm like, you know, some of these I haven't been to and I want to. Fort McHenry. It's a perfect time to go there. Star Spangled Banner, you know, it's the anniversary of it, you know, that whole thing. Great place to go. Inner Harbor, Mount Vernon, Manassas, Antietam. TheCarolinaTrader.com lists by state all these different trail medals. There are hundreds of them for the United States. And the biggest concentration of them in the whole nation is right here. It really is great. We're in the 150th anniversary of the Civil War. Let me think. Guns, cannons, soldiers. No, boys won't like that at all. You gotta find something else. Ooh, fires. Yeah, no, they won't like that. There's a reenactment every weekend somewhere in Virginia. There really is. There used to be a reenactment 20 years ago. It really is. You know, we had the 150th Gettysburg over the July 4th weekend. There were 2 of them.
I went, it was hot, but it was one of the most.
It's amazing, isn't
It was
it?
amazing.
You think it's hot, wait till you wear the wool uniform as a reenactor. Yeah, you haven't seen hot until you've done that. But there's all kinds of opportunities, and there's all kinds of events going on, and I'm going to tell you what, reenactors are the best teachers. They absolutely love the history, they love what's going on, they want to tell you everything about everything. They want to show you the uniform that they made, that they spun the thread to make it. Seriously, these are guys, depending on how hardcore they are, some of these guys won't wear anything that's not homemade by them. It's amazing. I couldn't quite do that. I need some comforts at home. But there's all kinds of opportunities here. How about the 4th of July parade here in Leesburg? Good old-fashioned small-town parade. My boys love that thing. They have a great time. Matter of fact, we use these flags you see right here, and we have the boys each carrying a historic flag. And every single one of these are United States historic flags that most people can't recognize. They don't know what they are. I'm sure people as we're walking along thinking, why are they carrying that flag? Why are they carrying that British flag? That's what's wrong with America right there. Yeah. That one's got blue stripes. Yeah, it's a service flag. That's actually my favorite flag. Or, you know, that one doesn't even have stripes. It's got a pine tree on it. You know, there are all kinds of things. I love, everybody been to Del Marva, the restaurant? They have a wood flag that's on display there. And the first thing I noticed, I asked my son, what is different about that flag? He looked at me like, I don't know, Dad. Because basically because I always ask him stuff like, I don't know. I like, look at it for a second. How many stripes are on it? And he counts it and goes, 15. They did it wrong. No, it's the Star-Spangled Banner. 15 stars, 15 stripes. These are great opportunities to teach. And they're really neat things. And then they have a little factoid that they can wow their parents with or their teachers at school. The Star-Spangled Banner has 15 stars and 15 stripes. And they love doing that. And the best part is when the teacher says, well, your son doesn't know how many stripes are on the flag. What? No, they don't do that. But, you know, that's the fun part. Teach them little bits and pieces. They really gravitate to these things, and they love doing it. Lots of locations. Service projects. Very few people put service projects together with patriotism and citizenship. Well, helping other people. That's great. It's good. It's being very altruistic. Yes, that's good. It's citizenship. It's making your country better. It's helping other people. It's doing what Americans do best. Lifting others up to be better than they started with. That's what we do. You know, there's so many of them too. We do scouting for food as a given. Everybody does that one. Journey to Excellence has you do additional service projects as part of the Journey to Excellence. And they like to be service projects that your charter organization can work with you. Okay? My pack, matter of fact, in November, we do this one right here. We go to Holiday Coalition and we get stockings. And we fill those stockings full of toys and stuff for kids who can't afford any kind of Christmas presents. And every year, my boys love knowing that they're putting together a gift for another boy just like them. And we'll put together 50 to 100 stockings every year. It's so easy. You go to the dollar store, Five Below, and you buy a whole bunch of stuff. Each parent, you know, because you tell the boy, take their boy, the boy's like, you know, it's always a he, even though they think, you know, girls and boys they always say it's well, he'll like this and this and this and this and this. And then they bring all these things and they're so proud to put them together to give. Because the boys love to give. We do that. How about Operation Homefront? Heard about that? It is an organization that provides funds to families of soldiers who are deployed who are not making ends meet on their military pay. My PAC typically gives $500 to $1,000 in gift cards every year to that. And the boys do wonderfully because it's about helping other people. You know, churches, Backpack Buddies. Backpack Buddies is almost in every single school in this county. And it's about feeding the hungry that are right here with us. The boys excel at that. Have the boys go with their mom and dad to the grocery store and get something to help somebody else. Great service, great citizenship. That is scouting. How about conservation projects? Absolutely. We are stewards of this land. Scout is thrifty. We want to protect our resources. That's what citizenship should be about. Protecting for ourselves so it's available for everybody. That's why we do Leave No Trace. There's the Leave No Trace patch for Cub Scouts. Get that in your program. Make Leave No Trace part of your program. And even the Cub Scout World Conservation Award. That award when I was a boy, was earned a lot more than it is now. Now, I very rarely ever see a boy actually earn that. And it's a shame, because it really is a fun award. It has all kind. You're using several belt loops, and you're actually learning about, you know, protecting the land as far as natural conservation and animal, you know, cares for animals and, you know, and different wildlife. Boys love that kind of thing. These are great projects to teach them about taking care of the outdoors and what we are given. And then there's more. Of course there's more. There are so many possibilities with this kind of thing. I put my program on the very top. Of course I did. Youth Patriotism Awards is my program. I started 5 years ago. It's a nationwide program that teaches heritage, freedom, service, and citizenship to youth 6 to 18. It gives you an opportunity of taking requirements and being able to use them immediately without having to recreate a program. And it has bling along with it too if they want it. But you know, there's things like American Legion Post, the historic trails, the Jimmy Stewart Good Citizenship Award. It's a really cool one. That's been around a long time. So there are so many others out there. It's just a matter of giving the boys opportunities to demonstrate their citizenship, their patriotism, their heart for America and for others. What do you use for resources? What don't you use for resources? Citizenship test. One of the requirements for my Patriotism Award is that you go and you talk to different people that are from different generations of Americans. First generation Americans. I will call them zero generation Americans, people who've just arrived. Long-term generation Americans, you know, young, old, and every single one of them views their freedoms differently. And it's interesting for a boy to understand that and have that conversation and to see that just as many people are in the United States, there's that many different opinions and that much of thoughts and ways of showing patriotism. And then they can incorporate that as far as they're learning what they want to be, who they want to be, what kind of patriot they want to be. You're doing, you know, the local government. Our local government here is very supportive about, you know, letting you come see how things work and talking to the boys about how, you know, how civic things work and what it takes to be involved in your community. Local military units, Veterans Association, your parents. Your parents are your biggest resource of all. Engage your parents. And that applies not only to citizenship, but everything. You would be surprised at some of the hobbies and interests that your parents have that you can leverage to make a great program. It's so easy to get along in your lone little rut of doing the same thing. And you've got a parent that maybe sitting there who's an amateur radio guy and could wow the boys and they would have a great time doing it. There are all kinds of opportunities to do this. All right, citizenship. The one thing I want you to take away from citizenship is that the boys are watching everything you do. They're absorbing it, and they're going to actually take it and demonstrate exactly what you did. So you better model a good participating citizen. Keep the subject interesting. Remember that 5-minute rule? You know, a long dissertation about the founding fathers and the crafting of the Constitution is never going to keep a tiger interested. Now, if you can tell some cool stories along with that, and there are books out there who are historical fiction that are based on historical fact, but they've added like a third-person boy or a boy and a girl, typically of a young age, that observed and were part of it. Those are really cool books, and those are neat things to add to it. And get them participating as soon as possible. And don't stress. Remember, scouting's fun. All right, we talked about service projects. The one thing that dooms a service project sooner than anything is a lack of planning. We're going to help our elementary school. That's great. What are you going to do? We're just going to go up there and clean up some. Okay, sounds great. What kind of tools are you going to need? I don't know. What are you going to do? I don't know. What's success look like? I don't know. How many boys is it going to take? I don't know. Sounds like a great service project. Planning's not fun. No one likes the planning part, but you really got to do it. That's how you actually figure out, is it age appropriate? What tools do we need? How long will it take? Are the boys going to actually have a real legitimate part, or is it going to be mom and dad doing all the work with the boys running around, you know, playing tag? You've been in service projects like that, haven't you? Hey, that was great, wasn't it, son? Yeah, we played a wonderful game of sharks and minnows. Yeah, we dug this big hole here. You know, and the boys need to look back and see the results and be proud of what they did. Okay? do something for your schools. Seriously, your schools are under budget crunches, they are suffering, and the one way to make yourself invaluable and where your schools absolutely love saying, we have a pack that comes from our boys, is to do things for your school. Sometimes it's just as simple as cleaning up around the place and maybe planting a flower garden or two. Very simple, very straightforward. And then all of a sudden, they enjoy knowing that 50 families, 50 boys are scouts that are in our school, and then when they start with their uniforms, they all of a sudden it's like, yeah, these boys represent the kind of respect and citizenship we like seeing. Work with your schools. Scouting for Food's coming up, November 2nd and 9th. Last year, 104,812 pounds of food. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? It's really not as much as you think. I think it's less than 3 months worth of food. Stacy is our point of contact. Hey, Stacy, wave for us. Stacy, wave. There's Stacy. She's got a display over here on the midway that has looks like three locations where training will occur. And probably you're the point of contact if anyone has questions about their area of responsibility, right?
Yes.
As I put
What's on the map is there,
yeah.
so I can't really change it.
No, I'm just talking about as far as, we've got new people too that use as far as stuff.
So,
But Scouting for Food is a fun time. The boys have an absolutely fun time. It's being outside, they're going out, make sure you remind them of what the purpose is. Why you're there, and how it's going to make a difference in other kids they know's lives. They'll have a great time. But be safe. Remember traffic safety and such of that as well. Popcorn. We're almost out of popcorn. Crazy talk. Fourth order date, November 8th. The 30th is all fall sales closed. 20th final payment or due. Encourage your boys to keep going. All online sales are good through November 30th. Towards the prizes. Obviously, you can do online sales at any time all throughout the year, and the money still goes towards your pack as far as commissions, but it's towards the prize. Powwow. Who here has been to a powwow? Who here has never heard of powwow? Couple. Okay. Powwow is a gathering of Cub Scout leaders for our entire council. Typically, it is 600, 700 Cub Scout leaders. And I think this year it's 48 courses. I've got a complete list of the courses. Oh, there I do. There are some courses right there that are being offered, and they range from nuts to bolts about Cub Scouting. Some of them are like, the ages and stages of Cub Scouts. Some of them are about, the biggest mistake packs make. Some are simple like, what are some good Cub Scout games? Let's learn new games. And some of them get a little more complicated like, oh, I don't know. How do you keep your leaders motivated? There are things like that. It goes from really simple stuff to really more complex stuff. But the best part about this is you're going to have fun and learn something and meet tons of other Cub Scout leaders who are doing a lot of things just like you are. And they'll say, you know what we did? We did this. I come away from every single powwow with a sheet full of things, and I try them all. Some work, some don't. And some are real keepers that I have recycled and continue to use and continue to use. One of the things I have on my midway is a complete training course for teaching whittling chip. The most stressful moment in every Cub Scout leader's life. You got a third grader, you give them a knife and they're going to cut something. This is the best time ever for the boy, and it is the worst time ever for the parents and the leaders. But it talks about what you need to do to train it. It gave you a pattern on how to build a fake little knife made out of paint stir sticks, which I have a demonstration one there. And it allows them to practice opening and closing a knife in the proper way of holding and everything without the danger of cutting a finger off. It's great! These are great. There it is. Matter of fact, Michelle's bringing my little knife. I made 20, at the time I was doing whittling chip, my den was 22 boys. I made 22 of these puppies. Yeah, I was hating the knives by the time I got done with that. But heaven forbid any boy have to share a knife. I didn't get to hold a knife. But see, look at that. Great. I closed it wrong, sorry. There we go. Hey, it's all about demonstration now. But they teach you things like that. I'm training one of the courses. I teach courses there as well. There are tons and tons of fun things to learn, and there are tons of leaders there that teach these courses who, in my opinion, are some of the best educators I've ever met. There's a couple of them, now that I teach courses out, I hate the fact that I can't take more courses with these guys, because they are that kind of like riveting. So, sign up for it. Registration opens October 20th. I think it's going to be $30 again this year. That includes your lunch. It's a one day. It's one Saturday. It's a long day. I mean, trust me, you're tired at the end of it because you're taking 6 courses, but it's a great time. And it's well worth it. Absolutely.
And Blue is available.
And Blue is available. And actually, Cub Scout Leader Specific is available too, in case you don't want the online, you want actually in person. Tell you what, that brings up something else we'll say about it. For those who are new, Blue, just a little 30-second on Blue. Blue is a required course at least one person in your pack must have when you go camping. Hey, this leader so-and-so, leader X has Blue, but he's not going camping with us, but we're going to go camping. Nope, you can't go as a pack. You have to have your Blue person with you. Hey, our Blue person gets sick. And, you know, has to leave. Well, the whole pack has to leave too. You cannot have a pack meeting without a Blue member there.
Insurance.
And insurance, well, that's good. So, Blue's important. But there are other opportunities to get Blue, not just powwow, but it's a great opportunity to get it there as well. So there's lots of opportunities through powwow, so definitely sign up. I want to see Goose Creek have a huge turnout this year, because it is a great resource. Oh, we're doing good. Wood Badge, you saw a beating. I'm going to give just a... Wood Badge truly is a course in which you are taking skills that you already have and learning greater leadership, greater communication skills, managing conflicts. It applies in scouting, it applies at work, it applies at home, it applies in other volunteer organizations, in church, everything. It is an amazing course, and it has been compared very favorably to almost any kind of executive MBA that people have taken. Some people are like, it's better because you're actually putting things into use immediately. A lot of people hang around and don't go to this because they think, well, I haven't been in scouting long enough. That used to be the stigma 4 or 5, 6 years ago, and everyone's like, oh, I haven't been in scouting long enough. It's not that. If you are fully trained in your position, which for Cub Scouts is IPT, Cub Scout Leader Specific, both of them online, that's about 35 minutes worth of courses, you're eligible. It really, that's all you need. It is using the scouting methodology and the patrol method to teach leadership. It is a great course. It is 2 weekends, 2 3-day weekends, and in between the 2 weekends you're meeting with your patrol to come up with a project, like the one I showed, that was the flag project. And then you have a ticket to work. And the ticket is about you employing your vision to make a difference, which is what we're teaching our boys, to make a difference. Because a goal or a vision without any action is just a dream. All right, so the next course that's available for this is spring 2014. Matter of fact, a course is starting tomorrow morning. Those leaders are going to have a great time. But the next one is 2014. It's held at Camp Snyder. Registration will be opening up online very soon. I've got a little brochure here. If you're interested in, you can send that brochure in and go ahead and get your spot. It's a great opportunity. All right, stop, start, continues. Does everybody do these with your units? Yes? No? Seeing a lot of silence. Good. These should have been employed anytime there is, I believe anytime more than 3 leaders come together, there ought to be a stop, start, continue that's done. Because the ability to articulate and to put into words what you're doing, how we're doing, what we should continue to do, what we should stop doing is gold. It's valuable. Because it makes you honestly put a real thought to what you're doing. It's so easy going, oh yeah, that worked fine, we'll just keep going. Why did it work fine? Well, part of it worked fine. I started employing start, stop, and continue with my older boys once they got about bear. So they started understanding, and even before then I'd ask them, hey, what'd you like about that? What didn't you like about that? What do you think we should change? Basically, I was getting the same thing. I just wouldn't do it quite as formally. For me, for Roundtable, I also want to stop, start, continue. Except I can't do it without taking a lot of time. That's why I have my parking lot over there. The parking lot is the location, you need information, you want to say, I would love to get more information on this, I would love to see you do more of this at Roundtable, I'd like to see you stop doing this at Roundtable. Please put these on a card. If you want to put a name and contact information, great. If you don't, just anonymous, that's fine too. Also, anything that your units are doing that you want the district to know about that we can publicize, that other people might, want to do as well, that's a great place for it. Any private questions? A lot of time people come up to me after the meeting and ask me questions, and most of the time I can answer them, but a lot of times I can't. Well, that's my spare brain. Because when I'm packing up, most of it gets wiped, because I can't help it. I'm just that kind of adult. So, usually by the end of the day, I'm mentally wiped. So that's my way I can pull back up. Oh yeah, I should work on that. So the parking lot. Upcoming events. Sky for food. Here's the one I've got highlighted. Why do you guys care? Annual business meeting. What the heck does that even mean? The annual business meeting for the district is where the CORs, or the COEs, come together and they actually vote on the new slate of leadership for the district. It is that they have a vote as far as what this district is doing. The district meetings are available and are open to anybody who wants to come. But this one is especially important to have the CORs come to see what we're doing and why we're doing it, because their voice should be heard too. But so I wanted to highlight that one. And power, huge. All right, quick commissioner's minute. So, I am driving my son Robert, who's 12 years old. He is a Boy Scout to Scouts on Monday night, which was just a couple nights ago. And we're sitting along, and I'm listening to the radio, and I listen to talk radio. That's just who I am. So here I'm listening to it, and they're talking about something, and my son looks at me and goes, "What does that mean?" And before I could stop myself, I said something I shouldn't have said. I basically said, "This is the worst idea, blah, blah," and I went on a little tirade. And he says, "Okay, so that's why we hate it." And all of a sudden, I was convicted of the fact that that's why we hate it. Remember that your boys are absorbing everything you do. What should have happened there, and actually I did better later because it dawned on me as I was feeling incredibly guilty that I needed to explain in his terms what it meant and then let him make his own decision on whether or not he thought it was a good idea or not. And try to be as middle of the road as possible. Not always easy as a parent, I know, but to explain things, this applies to everything in life. Their kids are going to take the attitude of the parent more often than not, until they become teenagers, and then they're going to go the opposite direction. So just hold tight. But the younger ones are going to take exactly what you're saying. As a den leader, they're doing the exact same thing. If you come out with a preconceived way of saying things, or this is the way we're going to do it, that's the way they're going to think is the only way, the right way. So be aware of what you're doing. Sometimes it's just habit. Sometimes it's you're tired. Be aware of it. Especially when you're teaching citizenship. It's about active, participating, servant citizens. We're still maintaining the 2 Facebook sites. Anything, it's wide open, anyone can post to it they wish. Questions, absolutely. A lot of times things that come up in the parking lot that are, hey, that's a great question, I'll put the answers up there. I also try to parse out all the Goose Creek district newsletter and put stuff up there. If you're not getting the newsletter, you can sign up for that. I think it's newsletter at goosecreekdistrict.org, I think. But I can make sure of that. To make sure you get it. Because there's tons of really good information that comes out there, things that are going on in the district. The Cub Scout one, I try to make it very Cub Scout centric. And this is things, I'm also a member of other boards of where, from leaders across the nation. I'm a member of an actually national board for Roundtable, and they are constantly talking about new methods. And I'm like, that's great. And boom, it's on the site because I want you guys to have it too. It's like, this is a great thing to do. This is neat. I mean, I've seen so many things from so many leaders from across our nation that are amazing. It's like, these are amazing. So these are a great place for you guys for resources as well. But anything you guys are doing that makes sense, or you love, or it's really, really fun, get it up there. That's how we all grow. Scouting is the one where plagiarism is okay. Don't invent the wheel if you don't have to. And the next roundtable is November 13th. It's going to be right after Veterans Day. It's also after both of our Scouting for Food. So have a safe month. Have fun with your boys. Remember the holidays are coming. Find a service project to do between now and their holiday break. see what you can do. Teach them to help other people at all times. And thank you.